Check, check. All right, guys, what's up? Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back to another live session. For those of you tuning in on YouTube, good morning. Hit that thumbs up. Remember, day trading is risky business, all right? Day trading is risky, so proceed with caution, take it slow, and manage risk. So I'm going to start up my screen recording here, actually, before we really get going. I was just saying in the chat here that a guy like Ross probably would be up crazy, but they said he left out. With that huge move there, for those pre-market traders, hopefully you guys capitalized. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So, of course, KDLY is the hot stock right now. That one is leading the way, up 600%. A pre-market trader's dream here. This one is, I mean, it's been sensational. And I think this is in part because of the good news that we're also seeing in the overall market with the trade deal. So, I think we're definitely going to see a bit of a hot day here today. Now, being that KDLY is already over 30, I think, of course, it'll still be worth keeping an eye on. But for me, I'm more so interested in the sympathy that we can see from other stocks following suit to this one being so strong. So, I'll keep an eye on it. I'll check in on it from time to time, but I don't think it'll be my main stock as we go. So something to keep in mind there. But for those people who will have this one as their main focus, you can't go wrong, I'd say, right? But coming into GRYP, the second one down, which is, still up a respectable amount, 300%, 87 million shares of volume. We had a spike to 491, although that was earlier pre-market. Checking back, we pushed up to 290, and then since then we've kind of sold off a bit. We're having this consolidation here. I think this is the one I'm going to pay attention to into the open. GRYP. I'm going to take a quick look at the daily chart, the 200 EMA. Let's see. The overall market also has good news, of course, with a tariff reduction for now. So, it looks like everything is flying high. All the swing trades will be looking good for everyone who's holding a little longer. So, yeah, GRYP looking like we might have some room up to 7, maybe even 8 before major resistance. 750, I'd say $7, $8, 758 before major resistance. All right, looks good. This will be my main stock into the open. GDC, which did move up nicely, that one is sold off sadly. And we do have SYTA, which is lighter volume. So let's see, there's a couple of that moved up since. So JYD, for example, pushed up. JYD, can add this one to the list. I'll also add a KDLY to my other screen here, just in case. It's a little bit more pricey, but we're not afraid of that, right? It's all about utilizing the proper share size to start, getting acquainted with the stock, falling into a good rhythm, and then sizing up from there. 2 minutes to go. 2 minute warning coming up. So after studying over the weekend, um, in fact, where's my stickies? Okay, I've pulled out the stickies again. So there's a couple of key things I want to remind myself of. When looking at pullbacks, I got to be careful with sizing. This is something that I've noticed where I'm sometimes being a little too aggressive too soon, and then stopping out of the trades too early. Looking back at the videos, it's so crazy how close you could trade to the strategy, but then if you have a few mistakes, it derails you and throws you off completely. Trades where I'm in nicely and I'm cutting the position too soon without us breaking down. Like just things that it's like, bro, like this weekend was a good reminder that you could make thousands and thousands, you could make over 10,000 every day of this year so far. If you're trading the strategy and you're extremely disciplined towards the rules of engagement, where you should be getting in, support, resistance, things like that. Any trader out there in the world, beyond me, right? Beyond me, this is not just like a inspiration that I can do it as alone, but anybody out there listening, if you can be seriously disciplined, the opportunity is there. That's just nothing more, nothing less. So after studying, I'm like, bro, I gotta pull it in, and so we will pull it in. I got a couple other things that I've written down here. Um, when I'm in towards the lows, I really need to be patient. Let if the stock is gonna stop me out, I gotta let it pull back, make those new lows first before I cut that trade, right? That's one of the biggest things I want to focus on here. And I want to pay attention for breakout trades when they hesitate right below the highs for that sweet, sweet move. Two of the biggest pointers here coming into the open. So I got smaller size to start as usual, and I'll look to increase size from there. There seems to be a discrepancy here between the chart and the level 2 on Thinkorswim. KDLY halting down. We have GRYP halting up. A bit of a discrepancy on Thinkorswim with the charting. False halt down, KDLY. Might halt down here. Yeah, will halt down. I tried a false halt down, not quite. It's back down. Resumption is 4 minutes out. FRGT, how are we doing? Checking out FRGT here. Break of 2, potential entry coming up. There's a small bid here. Keeping an eye on FRGT, we got a high of 214. Pre-market highs are at 209. Watching the pullback, FRGT. It's off screen, but watching. Starter at 03 in case it doesn't dip, but really tight stop here. It seems like it's holding up well, but it's still early here in the move. We got a minute and 12 seconds to resumption. GRYP. I got that starter here. I'll take it at 10, and then I'll size up a little bit to see how we do. But I want to get ready for the resumption. I do want to use a little bit more size because the stock does look pretty strong. We got 42 seconds. So coming back to GRYP here. Thirty seconds. Looking for the dip and rip. Can we open up higher, push, and I'll be watching for the first pullback here on GRYP. 8 seconds. No fear, no hesitation. 234. Taking 21 dip, tight stop. Bro, come on. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna get caught in the halt down, buying the dip again. And I have size here too, so this is not gonna be great. Early opening surge to false breakout. So we're gonna get caught for the, if you want to call it a bait and switch here. Early aggressive move up, looking good for break of the pre-market highs, is back down. Good 10-cent trade, retested the lows, breaking down. FRGT coming down a little bit, lows of 86, might be Christmas tree. JZ, I'm gonna check that one out. How's JZ? I'm gonna look through the entire watch list here. JYD. There's a small red to green there. It looks like I'll lose 10 cents here, which will be a pretty good size loss for the size I have. Part of the deal. Looking through the watch list. I'm surprised. It's actually a bit of a slow start, on the contrary to what I thought. For the pre-market move that we had, especially. Granted, the leading stock KDLY did go into a halt down, so we might see a little bit more chop before we see a pull away. FRGT is back over 2. Could be interesting. Those were VWAP 82. So I was looking close to a Christmas tree. It's gonna curl back up. Okay. We'll see what it does here. 82 to 15, not bad. Lows 03. Definitely a bit of a big move there from those lows. Mm. Wow. Bearish engulfing. Could the double bottom work here, perhaps? But immediately back down, kind of rough. The resumption is a minute away on the other one, so I got to keep an eye there as well. It's showing 210, and we had lows of 213. $38 seconds to that resumption. My sell order's out, so I'll get filled wherever they resume, somewhere there in plus or minus. It's showing 06 resumption. Now it's showing $2 resumption. I'm gonna lose like 1,600 here, if my math is any good. So I'll have some work to do. So I'll be hoping we see some good momentum here into the next 20-30 minutes. It's quite the sell-off. So waiting to find that strong stock here. GRYP, there's a bid, but there's also some massive sellers as well. It did get back to 15 off the lows of 2. Doesn't seem like our typical stock though, in terms of how big the sellers are. I mean, the bids are great if we're going to see those type of bids, but seeing some monster sellers too. And it's going to buy up those shares. Well, okay. Well, okay. And KDLY is still halting down. That one halted down again. YHC. I missed YHC resumption. YHC seems to be moving. 576 highs. 648 is the halt up. It's pretty bullish on the 5. FRGT with a big move there too. Right at the VWAP. Trying to catch my bearings here with this YHC. It's always a little tough pulling them up late, but watching, waiting. A bit of a double top there. Yeah, GRYP resumption's coming up. Almost forgot about that one. So we ended up having a pretty brutal halt down and a big bounce. Are we seeing a false breakout? Can we see over 50? Taking 45 or so. It's holding though. Tight stops. Oh, 17. The resumption's coming up. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. GRIP. 10 seconds. 223. Okay, it's lower and it's gonna go lower. All right. That one's kind of tough. Focusing on YHC here. Focusing on YHC. We had that high of 50. So far, it held up pretty well right there. The fills are kind of brutal there. I'll have to wait for the next setup on this one. I think it'll be best to watch one stock though. Trying to like flip flop or go between multiple is going to be too distracting. The halt is at 47. Now the halt 70. It might halt up. And I take a starter. Let's see if I can get a better average here over time. Depends on the type of dip we get here, though. If it's like a one and done versus like a longer hold versus a longer pullback, rather. Watching to see how we hold up here. time. Not the best on time there, but let's see how it does here into this new candle. I think we'll see lower. It might not be bottom yet. It's quite the pullback though. We might see new lows. Taking 78. That first ad there was a little high. Well, okay. Well, all right. No bounce. I'm surprised. I'm thinking sub 5 right there. Or false halt. Well, okay. And that was quite the pullback. $8 to 5. Bro, what is going on with these dips? I said we missed the front side looking for the pullback trade. And the dip's taking us into oblivion. The first buyback there a little too aggressive though. GRYP is halted at 250. Bro, these dips are in the depths here. And that was pretty quick too. 630 to 530. In like 3 seconds. Well, the day is not looking so good here. And we only took like 10 trades. In GRYP, we had some trouble with the first halt down. Getting caught. Didn't get anything on the resumption. And it is halted up. YHC. Honestly, the front side was pretty good, but we kind of just, kind of came too late. It's always a little tough pulling up the stock and we're like midway in the move. If we didn't bounce earlier, we have to bounce here. I mean, if this just keeps going down, it's just going to be ridiculous at that point. And that false halt down was about 50. GRYP, 2 minutes 30 seconds to that one. Bro, this thing's evaporating, bro. Uh, and there's a new low by a couple more cents. All right, GRYP, bro. This is ridiculous. It's a new low, but it's it bounced up a little there. That's the type of day I gotta like just say, bro. There's a minute 15 seconds. FRGT did halt down. That one is sideways on a bear flag. GRYP. The market playing a hardball here. The pre-market highs are at 491. The most recent high that we had in pre-market in terms of that consolidation was 250. So we'll see if it's able to hold, continue a little bit. Bro, I can't believe I took 10 trades and I'm down 4K. Like, come on. I literally took like 10 trades. Got caught on the wrong side of the momentum on every trade. So 10 seconds. 10 seconds. We're 250 here. The halt down's at 42. Seems a little stiff. 65, 67 range. I'm gonna give myself a max loss of another 1,000. If I lose another 1K, then I'll be forced to leave. But in the meantime, can we see some damage control here with some good setups? New high 79. It's kind of stiff, but then it then erupts, right? This one here, GRYP. 85's the halt up. Okay. It might get locked in. There's a bunch of bids. Definitely some interesting price action. The the move at the resumption there, we had about 62 by 66, maybe 63 by 67, a stiff range, and then we're kind of just there at 77. INHD. Let's take a look at some of the other ones. 1050. This one, the volume is a little lighter. Highs are 1050. New candle, 20 seconds. Bro, what are these moves? False breakout. No, and new lows. The volume on this one is a little lighter. 210. 2 minutes, 10 seconds to resumption. So that was the 1 minute candle to make the new high into the new candle there. So waiting on resumption here. INHD, we'll see if it continues to hold. GRYP will need a pullback at some point here. Now, the key is it not going back down to the lows. So I'll definitely, be easing off on the pullback. I'm not even going to attempt the dip. I'll just wait for the incline, the beginning of the next incline. So the key here for me, I'm looking for uh, one more dip and rip. If not, I'll just let it pull back and do its thing. There is the chance it keeps going. It's always a possibility. Maybe we can see like 330, 350 before the actual dip comes, but I want to be mindful once it starts to drop to ease off, because we did go from $2 and YHC, we already saw that one. So all right, looks like it might come down, might halt down 72. We had a bid 86, but that bid did not hold up for the break of 3. So we could see maybe 2 halts down, maybe more. We'll have to see. What a day, bro. I always despise being down like this after just a couple trades. All the reviews to walk in here to see some bigger flushes. How did KDLY, did we get a bounce eventually? Yeah, at 20 to 24 or so. The spreads on INHD pretty big. We're seeing 20-30 cent spreads here. Just a little too tough in this with this spread. YHC, man, that backside was brutal, man. Showed up around this area here at VWAP and just not quite in a good sync to jump in. So basically like missed this move and then destroyed trying to get dips. INHD, again the spreads here are just I think a little too much at this point versus the first bull flag. KDLY, if it gets halted up here, it could be interesting. KDLY, can we get halted up? 580 to halt up. Come on, come on. Not quite. Again, the spreads on these. This one, of course, more appropriate though. $24 stock. And GRYP, we'll keep an eye on as well. Might need another halt down, we'll see. Halt level moved up for KDLY. GRYP. Halt down is 55, and it's halting down. Looks like it might get locked in. A lot of big sellers. So out of this resumption is where I'm a little bit more interested to take a dip. But again, got to be careful in case it sells off all the way. We'll see if this 5-minute candle can close with some strength for KDLY. There's less than 30 seconds in the 1 minute candle. Not looking too good here. So that 5 minute candle is gonna, struggle. I think, coming in with the expectation to see a little bit more strength was fair based off the news we had over the weekend and the overall market being up so much. And of course, seeing a stock like KDLY in pre-market too. But the chop has gotten us. YHC though, you can't complain, right? But you got to catch the front side. You got to catch the front side push. GRYP, we got 2 minutes 30 seconds. Even a third halt down could happen. So, it kind of depends on how the resumption looks. KDLY, I was interested for the red to green here. Well, we rejected 25 area, so switching back and waiting. I gotta get my hat, bro. I don't know why my eyes always, after like we get close to an hour, it's like the ceiling light starts to destroy my eyeballs. So I'm gonna grab my hat here. Get this like that shadow here. What's crazy is the light. Like I was thinking to put like a big ring light, but that's gonna be too much. Like the sun in your eyes is the feeling. It's been a while since I had a red day like this, though. This type of size, like over 2K, is definitely a little much. So there's 42 seconds. So we're currently at 255. It's showing 52 open. Fourteen seconds. $39 is the halt down. Can we see the instant reclaim? It's a little slow. Back out, waiting. Yeah, we're gonna see. We might see three halts down here. Yeah, there's some big sell. So yeah, I think this is a little bit more fair for the move. I think it's a little bit more fair for the move. KDLY new lows. Oh no, not quite. How are you guys doing in the chat? All right, let me do a rotation here. Let's just see. FRGT from earlier, not really holding up too well. GDC, what's this today? Yeah, okay, this was pre-market. This one sold off early. GRYP, not much there. Actually, hold on. Not much here yet. We'll see how the dip does. The front side move, of course. I thought a little tricky early. So that's why I switched over to YHC. TAOP. JZ, not much. KDLY. Pulled back here after the open. See, oh, okay, this is okay. Again, though, I'm pretty late to a move like this. It's already up 120%. A lot of different stocks moving today. See, this is not good, man. This is not good. This thing started moving from like 30 cents. See, it's like a similar thing to YHC, right? It's like I need to be showing up around at least 35, 40 cents max. See, we could go to 80. We could. But it's just a little tough to jump in midway or maybe even more than midway here. There's a minute 28 and there's a minute and 10 to GRYP. So TAOP, GRYP, they're going to resume pretty close in proximity. Oh man, that is brutal. GRYP, I think the dip here will be good. TAOP could keep going. If I start trading TAOP though, I have to use small size first. And all right, GR, there's 10, this is a 10-second difference or so. So GRYP will come first. We'll see how it does if it starts to set up for a red to green. TAOP, I'll watch right away. 230, showing 223. Okay, it's 10 minute. Perfect. The other one, TAOP, here we go. Let's see if I can pull this up quick. 67. Tight stop. 60. 52. 52 low right there. Halt down though. Halt levels are pretty wide here, surprisingly. 44 by 74. One of those stocks. So the range is going to be, might continue to be pretty insane here. But again, though, this is like the only thing here for me. Like just showing up, I could do a lot of damage on this stock, but I need to be here at like 30 cents. Showing up at 67 is like, it's just kind of tough. We could keep going, which is why I gave it that shot, but it's just a little too tough. So with all the stocks that are moving, sometimes you might miss one or two. It might bounce too, but we'll have to wait and see. GRYP, we have another 2 minutes 47 seconds. It just is so can't overthink anything. Can't overthink it. Right now, I'm thinking like, bro, like why? Why am I missing this move? But gotta stay cool, calm, collected. There's no secret here, other than there's a lot moving, and so I'm, looking at a little too much, missing TAOP. On the contrary, if you are showing up early and you're capturing the front side, be careful not to give back on the pullbacks. If you captured a nice day, make sure to size down in the riskier areas so you don't give back. Right now I'm red 4K. Well, if I knew I would have been red 4K today, I would have went to the mall. I would have took my siblings shopping. Donate some money to the homeless. And I got like another 500 before I have to leave. No choice. I've lost 500 since the max loss of 1K added. So I found myself down like 3.4 pretty quickly, and I'm like, okay, if we lose another 1K, then we have no choice. But in this area, trying damage control, but it hasn't been good. So waiting for GRYP, which I think the volume coming down has been light so far. Of course, granted we've been getting halted, but this is where I think we can start to bottom out for a bit of a red to green here. We got 23 seconds. and counting. 10 seconds. We're at 39. Can we see over 30? Tight stops. Oh my goodness. Well, so much for my. What is going on? Again, another massive. So it's just Christmas tree here. It's gonna give back everything back to the lows. So I mean, what's happened to me today is exactly this. Nothing more, nothing less. I missed the front side and the back side. There's no bounce. Bro, I'm in at like 23. I look up, I see 26, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna adjust my size so I can start scaling. I look back, it's at 10. 210. Well, I have $200 here of room. Do I keep going or do I just call it? This is gonna be my biggest red day in like 5 months or 6 months, maybe like 7 months, since maybe like September of last year. Hmm. Mm. Sometimes it's a good thing when there's just one stock moving, but this is part of the challenge here. INHD, lighter volume, smaller bounce earlier, but you got to watch out for that spread. This is one of those days where mentally I do feel fine. Again, I kind of was down pretty quickly with just a couple trades, but it's, at a certain point, if I'm not seeing any consistency at all, I'm just gonna have to leave. Rough Momo. In an alternate universe, I was able to catch the front side and avoid the back side, and it's a nice 5-8K day. Yeah, large caps are doing well, man. There's some good news over the weekend in relation to the trade war. So you'll see all the big tech stocks and the SPY. I have SPY down at like five something, like low fives, but definitely not the size I would want though. Not the size I would want for SPY, but still something. And then I got I got some other stuff too. So it's good that we're seeing a good bounce. The more and more I'm around the market, it's like the more simple it seems when it comes to large caps, as in like the SPY in itself. Like individual stocks, you gotta always be careful with, but um, when it comes to the SPY itself and the overall market itself, unless there's an actual crash, like a real crash, like 2008 kind of crash, then it's just like it's like fair game, you know, like you just buy all this nonsense weakness and then stocks are back up. And but it comes down to being disciplined same way because if you have your plan, you got to stick to your plan, right? You can't allow these guys on like CNBC or whatever to sway your opinion. Hey, we're gonna go in recession 10 years, right? Like this tariff stuff we've seen before, and it's literally the same playbook, right? Trump comes in, threatens a bit of a tariff spike, market goes down 25, 30%. Then there's some good deals, and then market back up new highs. But and the crazy thing is that the earnings on the companies are like the same or even better. Earnings were strong this Q1. GRYP resumption again. Earnings were strong Q1, so it's like if earnings are strong, fundamentally the companies are exactly where they should be, or let's say fundamentally they're at a discount because the earnings are the same or better, and we're down 40, 50, 60, 70% on some of these stocks. It's like there's the buy, right? Like I remember the team house, like everyone's just like buying the dip every day, slowly buying the dip. But you have to have like disposable income, so it's a little bit more easy to do. If you're using cash that you need, then you're at like a time constraint, and then that can get you out of the trade early. New lows, and this is probably where the bounce is finally gonna come. Man, I thought two, three halts down, red to green from there, retesting the highs at some point, but new lows. This Christmas tree type of pattern, because I usually will take the dip at a place where it's like fair. Let's say, okay, coming back into this previous, pivot here, or even a little lower, like this resumption for a bounce, but brutal. Even the VWAP didn't hold. Yeah, the day trade dash scanners are $200 a month. It is a little bit on the pricier side, I'll say, but it's solid. And you got a 10-second chart as well. There are other scanners you can also check out. This one is definitely a good option, but there are others as well. But yeah, this day trade dash is pretty good. I've used Momo Pro before. I'd still say Momo Pro is pretty good, although the high of day scan over there could use some fine tuning. There's some free ones on YouTube. There's some that the brokers will offer. But I think depending on where you are as the individual financially and with your trading and all that, um, that's where you can like pick and choose, right? For the bigger traders, like they won't mind paying $200 or whatever it might be, especially being that like you can write it off if your stuff is set up properly. So most people wouldn't mind, but if you're maybe a little newer, then maybe you go for something a little cheaper or maybe even free depending on your situation. So, you got to look at the pros and the cons and then make that decision for yourself. Okay, let's see. We'll come back to the 10-second chart here. So GRYP halted down. I literally got $200 before my max loss here. So people ask me what's my max loss. I never have a specific max loss, which I wouldn't recommend if you're new. If you're a beginner trader, you need to have a defined max loss that's like a set number. Hey, $200, $400, whatever. For me, it kind of comes down to how the day will play out. There's been days where I started red like 3K in the first trade of the day. And I don't like to be down more than 1K really. But if I'm down 3K right away and it's the first trade, we still have 7 hours and 59 minutes of a day left. And so if I'm down 3K in the first minute, doesn't mean that it's not a good day per se. Even a day like today, right? I kind of lost big in the first 5 minutes. Doesn't mean that it wasn't a good day. We still had front side on GRYP. We had the front side on YHC. We had I think INDH for a little bit. Is that the name of the ticker? INHD for a little bit. So, for me personally, I don't like to leave right away because it could still be a hot day. Just happen to take a bad loss early. Now, the biggest thing to consider is my mental state. Like, if I'm feeling very like frustrated and upset and like complaining and just like can't focus on any trades, then in that first minute, it would be a good place to then just leave because I'm out of it mentally. But if mentally I'm fine, I take the big loss. Okay, cool. Can we see something else? Then that's where I'll keep trading. But if I happen to then lose on top of that, that's like, okay, we're still taking losses here. We gotta kind of cap the day, you know? That's kind of how my max loss work. But this only works if you never get tilted where you then overtrade. Like if you get compromised mentally and you start overtrading, this is where this type of max loss can backfire because then you'll just keep going and then the red will just keep getting bigger, right? So only until you really trust yourself to never like go beyond like a point is where this type of system could work well. So I'm whilst I'm good size red, like mentally it's like I know what happened. Like I kind of got just caught in those bad areas and didn't capture on the front side. It's like to get mad and like just size up and go crazy would be just kind of silly to do. So I got 300 of wiggle room. I'll stick around for a little bit to see if something else might move, but if not, we will take the L and hold what we have. Take the lesson. L equals lesson. We'll review the first 30 minutes to see if there's anything we could have adjusted or did better, and then tomorrow again. But it is a little disappointing though to study up so much over the weekend and then it's like, oh, yo, kind of have my fist balled up here at the market. Like when you review, you feel pretty good, and the expectation is that you'll see a nice day. So even then, you don't want to like overcompensate and do anything silly. But so we're seeing some relief bounces on some stocks, TAOP. We might not see more opportunities until noon. In terms of front side, usually when it's this hot this early, as in like the news this weekend, stocks like KDLY, usually there's stocks moving throughout the day. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna get a 1 p.m., 2 p.m. move and power hour as well. I do have a dentist appointment for 3 p.m., but other than that, I think I'll stick around if we see something good and I'm not past the max loss. TAOP, There's a bit of a tight flag here. I'll take a couple of cent and a half, I guess, really. That's a good sign, though, that we held up there. We'll see how it plays out here over the next couple of minutes. There's still a spread, of course, despite it being a little cheaper. Time 45. Dang, it is moving fast, man. And you gotta be careful of the range still, because it could still go up or down 10 cents in a candle. I'm gonna chase it. Can we see over 53? Oh, they're selling. It's holding though. There's some selling, but it's holding. It's an early stall for this type of range we could have. Are we gonna be able to push through? It's kind of getting stuffed here. But the 5 minute candle is still strong though, so we'll see. 55.5, 55.1. We could see a bigger pullback too. But it's fighting for now, though. It's fighting here. My share size is fairly small for now. Just trying to take it easy. Just a couple thousand shares. Fair fill. Time. We got 4 minutes left in this 5 minute candle. So far, we're flagging. Still in the flag. Hoping for the next, hoping for an uptrend and a retest of the highs of 67 eventually. Watching and waiting. We got a little bit of buying coming in. Watching and waiting. Watching, just waiting to see if we'll get another big move here. Damn, bro. Ah, man. That was kind of rough, Phil. That was a rough fill. I like the dip here, though. Hmm. Can we see 62? There's 59. There's 60. Dang, bro. Damn it, damn it, damn it. The freaking should have bought back already. Explosion? Oh, come on. I can't miss this move. I didn't expect us to come back down, but I'm gonna size down. I'll size back up later. Bro, what is that, man? 61 to 57? That's like kind of brutal. Like in a tick, in one tick. After good buying coming in. There's definitely still buying, I think. But you gotta be careful nevertheless. $54, 5. Aiming for the double bottom here. Only smaller size this time. Waiting patiently. We're seeing new lows, so I'm waiting. Seeing new lows. Alright, just waiting. We'll see how the 5-minute pullback holds up here. So far, lows are at 51 here. Just watching and waiting. Bro, I gotta stop. I should have stayed in that trade, but the selling just kept coming. It looks decent. We'll see. It's fighting. That's what I like to see here. Come on. And this candle needs to hold up here. It's gonna be big if it does. Time. What's the time? Can we reclaim if it comes down here? And the candle did close though. Yep. Okay, it's coming down. We had a good fight there, but max pain of the max pain. Max pain of the max pain. It's a good close on that 1 minute. I still think it has potential. I mean, it's a good size 5 minute pullback for sure, but you know, I want to give it another like 20, 30 minutes to see how it plays out. If this stock can go up to $1, I can get back to green for sure. We'll see how this setup here plays out, trying the 5 minute setup again. Only in with a starter though, so just waiting. We'll see. Can I fix, let's see. Settings. Let's take a quick. Uh, all right. We'll see how this one finishes up. This is where the 5 minute candle could make the new high. It's a pretty good trade to this point, you know, it's just the size, not that great. I'll be hold I'll be holding for longer here. Didn't see a early pullback or a retest, so are we gonna just keep grinding slowly here? I kind of just had that one bottoming wick. This makes it kind of tough to add. Fifty-three, 53 is going to be a big level here. If we can clear this, then it's a good chance we can see high 50s again. So I like the reaction down there. I want to give it a chance. This is where I say, KB, where are those bulls? Can we see the move? Where's the push? Yeah, I'll give it a chance here, though. It's a 5-minute candle to make the new high, and then we'll see if we get back to high 50s. So far, so good. Time. Very good. Okay. Not the type of pullback I'd expect to see, but all right. Let's see how we play out here. Will we see the bounce? Time 52. The candle's gonna close here. It's a pretty weak candle out of the blue. The 5 minute candle to make the new high is also rejected. So no high 50s, at least not yet. We'll see if it holds up the lows. A little disappointing there. Was looking for 55 to sell a little and then wait the rest. Man, it's a little slow there. Oh, instant. Okay, maybe it might be coming down. Maybe. Yep. To the depths. A good attempt. I mean, 54. I guess the buying was a little weak there. I would have liked to see a little bit more buying sooner, but I was trying to give it some time to push a little bit more for 57 and so forth. But quick flag and back down for this one. Quick flag right here and back down. This is where we'd love to see the 5 minute pullback hold up and then get the retest and get like an ABCD move. But front side, the first move is always the best move because without the first move, there is no move, right? So by default, this right here is going to always be the best move. The big initial incline where I missed everything and traded the very top. If I see a stock like this at like 30 cents, man, but missing it with everything else going on. So part of the deal. This type of stock would save this day easily, but we're glad to recover something. And if nothing else is here, then we could shut it down for now. And again, I think these are the type of days where you'll see stocks move throughout the day, but uh, we'll see. No, I'd say if Ross was trading pre-market, man, he's up big. If he got the front side of that move, easy 200K, man, for him. Bro, the way how he trades is like he just keeps buying the highs, like for the ADA in those key breakouts, and the stock mooning like that. KDLY. I mean, anybody can lose on the backside, but this type of front side move here from 5 to 30, basically. The last time we had this happen during the open was GameStop. Like stocks like PHUN, EXPS Express. I think it was I don't know, EXPR or something. I don't know. I can forget the ticker, but yeah, I'm not sure if how much he made today. Is there a Discord group? Yeah, you can check out our chat here. The chat room will continue after the live stream. The links are down below as well for the bro. I can't believe this, bro. This is madness. Like I mean, this has been like the longest sideways period I've had in a while. This is insane. But what I did see from studying, though, I haven't been trading well. I'll say that. I think for the most part, if you're disciplined towards the strategy and you're not making silly mistakes, there's a ton of opportunities to do well. Where's the link here? There it is. I'll check out the chat in a sec to see how all the traders over there did. There's the link. Full look through of the scans and the watch list here. INHD. And of course, whilst trading that one, INHD. Again, opportunity, man, will cost. The time that you're spending looking at one stock is time that you're not spending looking at another. But I don't know if the spreads here was tight or not. I think that would have been a big component. is the tighter spread. But we pushed up from 1050 to 14. And over the highs, it gave a pretty big candlestick too. Let's see, high of 82, low of 62, then ripped up to 1190 and 13, then a bit of a chop, and then over to 1368 to 1471, bigger pullback, retest, and now perhaps backside again. Well, I think that might do it. We did recover something, so not quite at the lows, but not the best day here. Not the best day. So for those of you going till 4, keep an eye on those scans, keep an eye on the chat, and if something else moves, proceed with caution, be disciplined, and yeah. So in summary, for anybody watching back at the end here, GRYP, we got caught pretty early. Typically, and I guess, so I guess, again, this is where the discipline comes into play, right? So ideally, I don't want to use too much size in the first 5 minutes. But today, after, let's say coming into the morning, after seeing the news over the weekend with the tariff deal, seeing our leading stock in KDLY be super strong, I'm thinking, okay, if we see the opening surge, try to get aggressive a little quicker and capitalize. So, in the first 5 minutes, I kind of pushed a little bit more size. And initially, a good trade on the dip and rip. And then got caught in a halt down, which resumed significantly lower here. So I'm in at 222. It resumes at like 205, like 9,000 shares. So, the first dip went from, let's see, 234 down to 222, ripped up to 34. I'm back in for the retest of the dip, and it's an instant halt down, no chance to sell. So the first trade was pretty decent. Second trade, I'm out at 05. Tried the resumption down here, a little bit of chop, so I switched over to another stock that was moving up, and as a result, didn't really get to see this push. I didn't really get to see this push here. So, and what I did switch over to was, let's go to positions, YHC. Now YHC was very, very strong. I came right around the VWAP area here. Was not able to get into a good sync, and so basically missed the rest of the upside push here. And these stocks were moving, man, from 6 to 770 in 2 minutes, in 3 minutes. Just insane push. Part of the issue is, seeing, okay, we went from 375 to then 615. We do get the dip down to 540, but as you can see, it's like a one and done kind of dip. We don't really linger. We don't consolidate. There's no sideways period here to like accumulate or get a good gauge or read on the pullback. It's just, one quick dip, 540. The next candle opens up at 50, and then, we're kind of back on the incline again. So, it wasn't super aggressive to jump in right away. And it kind of missed the move here. The lowest we came after getting back to 6 was 80, and then right up to 650, and over 650 to 694. So, and at 640, I'm thinking, okay, let's be a little careful here in case we reject the high, double top, pull back. Stock kept going. But usually, it's just so much more easy to be aggressive high when you're watching the move from early. Especially when you're already like locking in, you're watching a dip and rip like this. So, we kind of missed that one. And then I think FRGT. Okay, not much on this one. TAOP. What's the other stock here? Yeah, GRYP. So we took a pretty good loss on the on that open resumption. A couple of choppy trades. So YHC to like finish up, kind of catching my breath. YHC to finish up the dip. We got murdered on the dip. So we tried, I think. Let's see. Let's pull up the show trades. We don't have that many trades either, which we took like 10 trades and we were red like pretty big. So let's see. Right here is where we got murdered here. Around, let's see, time 9:53. Stock just completely and utterly collapsed. Tried to dip a couple of times. In at 613, out at 40, just brutal. In at 85, out at 70. Pretty rough. Pretty rough. In at 45, out at 540. When this new candle opened up, man, I'll say towards the end of this candle, because we're going sideways here, into the new candle, it just obliterated. So we lost like $1 basically. Pretty rough. Pretty rough trade. 45 to 40. Brutal. It's one of those trades where we're so low versus the move up. I gave it an extra second or two to like see if we'll bounce, and it's like just from the initial 20 cent drop or yeah, like 20 cent drop, it's just an additional 60 cents instantly. And I was like, okay, taking a loss. So that was pretty much the day. I mean, we got red in the first 10 minutes. I'd say first 15 minutes, which wasn't good. And yeah, that was the day. All right, logging out. Take care, stay safe, stay green. I'll catch you guys tomorrow around 9:15 a.m. for another day. Hopefully, we get to see some cleaner front side and earlier front side. But yeah, take care, stay safe, stay green, keep an eye on those scans, and stay disciplined.